Hello there, and welcome to Dr. Greg and Monica's Lifestyle Solutions on nutrition today.
Good to be back and see you again for more information.
Definitely. Today we're going to talk about I've got a list of 10 high-fat, healthy, nutritious foods that I thought we might go ahead and give you. And number one on that list are actually avocados, which are loaded with good fats, rather than some of the carbs and some of the other fruits that exist. So avocados are fantastic. I usually try to have about a half an avocado a day during one of my meals, which is a great thing to do. Now, it's got 40% more potassium even than bananas do. So that's a great source of good fats.
You can flavor them a little bit sometimes for breakfast to go ahead and make a little mixture with eggs, a bit of avocado mixed in there too, possibly some things like green beans or some other type of vegetable to get all the basic, but the good fats, a bit of fiber, high quality protein.
You know what, and they can actually lower your LDL cholesterol and your triglycerides, which are the very bad ones, and actually, raise the HDL, which is your good cholesterol.
Yes, it is.
Second one is cheese. And now it depends. You don't want to have too much of it, because if you have too much cheese, that's not going to be good on your waistline. However, cheese is a great source of calcium, B12, several other vitamins. And one slice actually can contain up to 6.7 grams of protein in it as well. So it's not a bad fat. Also, the harder the cheese, the less carbs it'll have for you, so the better. You don't want to go with the ooey gooey. I know they taste great, but it's the ooey gooey cheeses that are that much fattier for you.
Almost like the harder the cheese, the harder the muscle, sort of.
Okay, that's
a
great way. Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Dark chocolate is on my list.
That's a favorite of lots of people.
Yes, and dark chocolate is high in fat, but it's got 11% fiber. It contains over 50% of your recommended daily allowance in iron and magnesium and copper and manganese. So it also has a lot of antioxidants. So one thing about dark chocolate, make sure that it is quality dark chocolate, and make sure that it is above 70% dark chocolate.
It can take, if you're not used to it, it can take some getting used to, but I find very few people ever overeat it. It doesn't have that craving thing which the lower or the high sugar content chocolates will have.
Very true. On my list as well, whole eggs. I mean, eggs are, an egg a day is one of the most nutritiously dense, full of nutrients, food that there exists. I mean, it has a little bit of everything to it. So, and while a lot of people used to think that, oh, if I eat eggs, it's going to raise my cholesterol, it doesn't work that way. I mean, eggs have a certain amount of cholesterol to them, but they do not affect your blood cholesterol, at least with most people. There are always exceptions, of course. So that's a wonderful food, and it's a great food even for weight loss, because by eating eggs, you do feel a lot fuller, you get all the nutrients, and we have found, I use them all the time. I eat eggs every single day, and I'll eat anywhere between sometimes 5 to 10 eggs a day. Now, that's not whole eggs with the yolk. I'll have maybe no more than 3 full eggs with the yolk, and then the rest will be egg whites.
But I want to throw in, we monitor Monica's and mine blood levels of the cholesterols and so forth. Her cholesterol is perfect. It's virtually perfect. The amount of good ones relative to the amount of low ones, it's in the best category, in the high end of the best category consistently.
Funny story there that I'll tell you really quick. This was many years ago. We were living in Northern Ireland at the time. We had our first 2 were born. It was at a pharmacy. I had my cholesterol taken, and the gentleman at the pharmacy said, oh my goodness, I've never seen cholesterol so good. Your HDLs are a little bit higher, because mine tend to be that way, but your LDLs are so low, your triglycerides are practically non-existent. What are you doing? And I said, well, at the time, I was eating about 4 eggs every morning, and this was whole eggs. This was way before bodybuilding, or even though I was very health conscious, but this was before I got specific about my nutrition and about my exercising. And the minute he heard 4 eggs, you've got to quit that. You've got to stop that right away. And I was thinking to myself, wait a second, I've been doing this for the past 10 years. You see what the results are. And he couldn't get back that, that being in that box. So once again, of course, you want to test yourself, you want to see how you're doing, but eggs are a really, really good thing. Next on that list, fatty fish. Fish are a great source of the good fats that your body needs. And what kinds of fish are we talking about there? Your salmon. We're talking about your tuna, your mackerel, your trout, sardines, those kinds, and herring is another one. So these fish, they're loaded with the omega-3s that are really, really important. I mean, try to get quality fish because, yes, we hear all about mercury and some of the things that are quite detrimental. Let you speak to that if you'd like. But fish are great, and they are also full of vitamin D, which is real important.
It's really that if you can get some fish, depending, you can't always know this, but if you can, sometimes you can get into the manufacturer, look on the internet and so on, and see if at least that they certify the fish are free of toxins and so forth, and hopefully that'll be true information. But protect yourself where you can.
Next is a favorite of yours, Dr. Greg, which are nuts. I think sometimes but don't go nuts over nuts because that is a little bit too much, and that will add to that gut and everything else. But nuts are very healthy. They're high in some of the fats, obviously, but the fiber, the vitamin E, magnesium. They're also a good plant source of protein, especially for those out there, vegetarian, vegan, who don't want that animal source of protein. And some of the healthy nuts would be your almonds, walnuts, pecans, macadamia, and of course there are others as well.
Those are the better ones though. Cashews, a little higher sugar content. Peanut, not so much because it's not in it anyway, just in case you didn't know.
But everything in moderation. Chia seeds are another one. And I've just started having some chia seeds. I've heard about them for a long, long time, but you know, you don't think of them as a fatty food. However, they do actually, I think it's an ounce, which is 28 grams, has about 9 grams of fat in it. But once again, they're the healthy omega fats, which are very important to us. And they're also quite nutritious, loaded with fiber, packed with minerals as well. Another one, your extra virgin olive oil, if you're going to be cooking with some of that oil. And that is, I mean, in Mediterranean diets, that's what everybody has. It is essential to their diets. It's associated with a lot of benefits as well, and it contains a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals. It's loaded with antioxidants. So if you're going to cook with your extra virgin olive oil.
Yes, good basis.
Coconuts are another one. They're one of the, I was reading, one of the richest sources of saturated fat on the planet. They're very high in your medium chain fatty acids, which do metabolize differently than some of your other fats, and they can help reduce your appetite, they can increase fat burning, and give you a lot of benefits as well.
And coconut oil is a good oil to use in cooking process too.
Yes, lately I actually have been buying, you know, I'll either buy, sometimes I'll get some canola, I'll get the extra virgin olive, or else I've started buying some of the coconut oils. Finally, to round our 10 is full-fat yogurt. You're a big yogurt fan, and there are times to eat it, there are times not to eat it, but obviously yogurt has huge probiotic bacteria, which can be good for you. Just make sure that you're getting the real fat and not some of, you know, you can get some that is lower fat or non-fat. The problem with that are what kinds of sugars or what are they replacing some of that fat with. And when you go to the store and the aisle of the yogurts, make sure that you look at how many carbs, how much fat, how, we'll get into that when we talk about labels a little bit more, but you could have 15 to 20 different yogurts with completely different labels, so make sure you take a look at that.
Moral of the story of this one though, fat is your friend, just not too much.
That's right. That was Monica and Dr. Greg's Lifestyle Solutions on Nutrition. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.